You gotta get into the groove.
Hello and welcome to my first for the year, my GroovēPages Leaders Unite session. And as you know, I've been doing them last year and the year before as well. But this is my first one for this year, for 2025. So if you're joining me live, put a hashtag live. If you're joining me, if you're actually looking at this on the replay, then just put a hashtag replay in the comments. Right, it's great to be back. My name is Peter Moinaro, and I am with GroovēPages, and this is one of my sessions that I do with GroovēPages. There's two of us that actually do the GroovēPages Leaders Unite. That's myself and Karen Allen, and hers is generally on a Sunday evening in Eastern time. And I'm actually in New Zealand, and so we're actually Thursday afternoon at 3 p.m. on the 23rd of January. So if you're watching this live and you're thinking, well, hey, we're only Wednesday night here, well, that's because I'm in New Zealand. All right. Anyway, let's get into this now. You may have actually recently joined Groove, and if you have, this is definitely one of the places you need to be, because these are some of the things that we go through is really about Groove. And my sessions are now being reformatted. I have actually reformatted them to be just Groove applications in general. Before it was Groove, GrooveCart and e-commerce. Although I am heavily involved in e-commerce and GrooveCart, I actually do a lot of other things with Groove as well. Like I do websites with Groove for my clients and myself, as well as e-commerce sites for my clients, as well as for myself. Good to have you here, Johan, all the way from Brisbane, Australia. You guys are about a couple of hours, I think, behind us. So, yeah, so it must be around about 1 o'clock or something in the afternoon where you are. So if you're actually new to Groove, if you've recently bought into the Groove platform, then you're definitely in the right place, and we will be going through different things when it comes to Groove. Now, today is going to be a bit of a deep dive into GroovēPages. Recently, in the last week, I did a Take Action 5-day challenge, and in fact, Johan was one of the participants, and we kind of went into a deep dive in that as well, in the GroovēPages. I'm going to share some of that stuff with you today in terms of what we covered in the GroovēPages, and how we, some of the things that you may not have known or you can't find any training for because it's not quite out there. A lot of my experience has been on the platform since 2019 is when I've actually sort of joined the Groove family, and I've been working on it ever since, pretty much on a daily, if not, at least once or twice a week, but mostly daily basis. And so I got to learn it quite well, and learned a lot of things too as well that you don't really get into the standard training. All right, I'm going to share my screen with you, and hopefully you'll be able to follow along. Okay, I'm in the dashboard of the Groove platform. And when you log into your Groove account, this is what you're going to see. So you're going to see a menu up the top there with all the different applications, or software, I should say. Not sure if you can see my mouse going in along. Can't really see it, but anyway. And then, so those are all the quick links. And over here, if you hover over the icon here, you can actually see some more links there as well. Probably a few more than what you can see on this page here. I like using this one because I can sort of have a bit more options here, but I'm going to go to GroovēPages. So that's where I'm going to head to. because that's what the session is about today. It's a bit of a deep dive into that. KD3, now that's Karen Allen, and thanks for being here, Karen. And as I mentioned before, Karen has her own Groove Asia Leaders Unite session as well. Now this one here I'm actually working on at the moment in terms of a demo. I'm going to go into here. So I'll just go into Manage, and I'm going to come into the back end of the GroovēPages for that website. Now GroovēPages is quite it's quite easy. A lot of people, may probably beg to differ, but when you've been using it for quite some time, you will find it quite easy because and some of it, although the solutions don't speak out to you straight away, if you're sort of hitting, if you're having issues with it, sometimes it's actually just something that you may have overlooked, or there might be something you didn't know about that you didn't try. So here we actually have a site that I started a while ago. It was just always supposed to be a demo site, and it still is. So it's nothing that I'm doing for a client or anything. This is just a demo site, and I'll just go down so you can see what it's all about. Obviously, it's a cafe. It's for a cafe, and there's a few things on here that we're going to actually change and just modify a wee bit. First things first, I'm going to start from the top and make my way down to the bottom. This here is the navigation bar, and when you click on it and you see this solid red borderline, that is the block. That suggests it's the block because you've got the plus sign there and the plus there. What those mean is that when you click on those, you can actually add another block. So that's a block. That's the navigation block. And if I just click on that text there, then you will see that's part of that. There is part of the nav menu or the navigation menu. If I go one step up, whether I do it here or whether I do it over here, then I'm going to select the whole lot, which means that I can go into the settings here, and I can actually add more to the menu if I want to. Generally, I don't have to because what happens is that when you do actually create a page on this side here, they will automatically show here. But as you can see, I've actually added these as text and not as pages at this stage. So we're going to be looking at how we actually create the pages and get them to show up on here. All right, you can change your logo there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the menu here. And so I need to create these pages that it's suggesting that I should have here. All right, so I'm going to go into here. First page is about us. I'm just going to add a page, a blank page, and I'm just going to add a block. Now, you can either choose some of these templates if you want to. It's up to you, or you can create your own. In this instance, what we're going to do is that we're just going to actually create, we're just going to use a template because I don't actually have time in this session today to go through creating a page from scratch. So we're just going to use a template, and I will probably use maybe, or a block, I should say. I can use a template, but I'll use a block here. Actually, in fact, let's just backtrack a wee bit here. Yeah, no, we'll just use the block, come into here, and let me just see if there's anything here that I can use here. I'm going to stick with content, and then I'll probably, what I might do here is, let me just see if I can actually choose something that's appropriate. What else have we got here? Gallery, headers. Okay, we'll stick with this. I might just put this one here. Right, it's kind of like the layout that I'm looking for, of the actual of the template. So here, my thinking is that I could put some images of maybe of the cafe, have a few words, a heading over here with a few words by the owner, and then another image over here of the something related, cafe related, and again have a heading and some few words here. So I'm going to do that. All right, I'm just going to save that. So that will be our about page. In fact, we should name it. So let's go over here. Let's go into settings over here, and we're going to call this about let's just say about our cafe. Yeah. We'll say it like that only because about us seems it's kind of boring. I'm going to put in here in the page slug or the friendly URL. I'm going to put about. It's all lowercase dash our dash and cafe. Right now, you have to do it that way. The dash actually separates the words, but it all needs to be literally one whole word in a sense. So that's why you got to put the dashes in, and then to be able to separate the words as well, so that when Google reads it, it can see what that says about our cafe. All right. Now, once you've done that, just click on the check mark there, and so you will save the settings. I'm going to go back to here to pages. Now I'm going to add a, let's just go back to home and see what else we had to put in there. So I'm just going to click back on home. When it does its thing, here we go. Okay, we've got menu, reservations. Now, can you see that it's actually ended up over here? About our cafe. All right, so now we've got menu and reservations. Let's just put menu in. So I'm going to add another page. And I'm going to put in a, let's just have a look at single pages here. See if we can find anything that's actually menu related. So I'm not, instead of actually going blank page, I'm going to go for a template, all right, for the page. I'm going to put in menu and let's just see what comes up. Oops. Nothing. Okay, that's cool. Let's take that out and then let's just have another look to see what we've actually here. So I'm going to go for single page and then just something that's kind of, I could probably use for a menu page. It doesn't literally have to be cafe related or menu related in terms of food or anything like that in terms of a template. It's really just the layout that I'm after. All right. No, I'm going to try this one here. Now, this is a supplements template. If you want to preview what it looks like before you use it, click on here on the live preview. It'll take you to a page where you'll be able to see all the what's on the page. So as you can see, it's a supplement page. Oh, that's probably not the best one, actually. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, let's take that out. We're not going to use that. Let's go back to templates. Let's try this. Try this one here. Marketing agency. No, we won't try that. It's kind of it's a little bit challenging when you actually don't have the actual say for instance I'm doing a cafe one when you actually don't have anything that's related to that, but you know, find something that you like the layout of, and I think this is the one I was after. Maybe let's go on there, click on the live preview. So hello, digital fish face marketing agency. That's cold. Well, that's cold. Okay. 7 degrees in Baltimore from Dr. Lisa. Hi, Dr. Lisa. Good to have you here. All right. Maybe we could use some of this for a menu. So I'm gonna add this. So you can see I'm trying to mix and match here. So I'm not actually specifically looking for anything that's actually cafe related because there's nothing. I'm just looking for something that's close enough to what I have in mind of what I want it to look like. I'm going to import the whole full template. So before I import it, I actually did a blank page and I added a block. This time I'm actually adding a template, a single page template. All right, so you can see there, I've got the template in there, and this one is going to be called, this page is going to be called menu. So I'm going to go into settings, go to menu, put menu in here, and then I'm just going to put menu in lowercase down here. And because it's just one word, I don't need to put any dashes or anything. Click on here, and now we've named that page. Okay, I'm going to go back to home, and you'll probably see that pop up on the navigation. And I'll show you how we can get rid of all the other stuff that's on there. once this is all done. So there you go. We've got about our cafe menu. We still got all this here, but we're going to get rid of that. Next one we're going to do is reservations and contact. So again, we're going to go back to here. I'm going to create another page. And reservations. Now, there are some things here that you could actually use as reservations. Booking landing page. Let's have a look at this. No, I'm not keen on that one. So, where are we? Let's just grab something with maybe a calendar on it somewhere in here. Or even a form of such. Let's just do this one. Right. I'm just going to import it. So this is just for the sake of actually doing a demo. So even though it doesn't look like it's going to, it suits what I'm trying to do, we can modify all this at another stage. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to embed maybe a calendar booking embed code in here, and then I'll change all this information here to the cafe type information. All right, so now we've got reservations. Let's just put reservations, and again we'll put that down here as well. I'll just copy and paste in that into there, make that a lowercase, and then save. One more page is the contact page. So I want to come to here again, add a page, and I know there's some contact type sort of single pages here. Where are we? In fact, what I might do is put contact in here and see what we come up with. There we go. Okay. Any one of these would probably do, but I'm going to probably just, that's a pop-up, so we don't want a pop-up. That's a pop-up. That's a pop-up. We don't really want pop-ups. Contact us template. Let's put that one in there. Now you can probably see that all these pages are so mixed and matched. It's not funny. We haven't got any sort of specific theme that even relates to our own home page with any of those pages. So we're gonna modify all that. But at the end of the day, it's all about just getting the template in there and working with it. Let's go back to page 4 again. Let's actually put in there contact. And again in here. Now, what I do like to do, and because you will probably see, if you haven't seen already, that each of these will have like different fonts, those sorts of things on every single page that I've actually added in there. So what I want to do is I want to make the font standard all the way through the whole website. So one particular style of font, rather than all the different types of styles of fonts that it might have on all these different single pages. I'm going to do that first. So I'm going to come over to settings, and then I'm going to go into styling. And over here, I'm going to change the font. I kind of like Poppins as one of my favorite ones. I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to save it. So on every single page, there should be, all the fonts should be Poppins. So if I go to About Cafe, it would be Poppins there, because sometimes you'll get pages that have Times Roman and all that sort of thing. But yeah, now you may not be able to see it, see what the font is here, because it sometimes just just names it default font. But let's just have a look. Yeah, if I actually went on here and then went to Poppins, hopefully that would stay the same. The font, the style of the font would stay the same. So when I click on Poppins, that should still stay the same. So it basically did. Probably a little bit darker there, but anyway, it's still pretty much the same font. That's what I'm after on that one there. So if I go back to homepage, So now we've got a menu, we've got about our cafe, we've got reservations, and we've got contact. Let's just go back to home page. All right, so now we have kind of a bit of a double up, right? And we don't really want to double up. Actually, that there as well. Let me just rectify this first. Let's put a bit of a hyphen there. I'm going to let's go back on that one again. Rename that. It's got a Mac one on above it, so I don't know. All right. And then let's just go back to the main page again. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I'm keeping an eye on the chat at the moment as we're doing this, so feel free to ask any questions. So we have about our cafe menu, reservations, contact. I want to get rid of all this because we don't really need all that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click on here. I can click on one of them actually, click on there, and I can either go up using this one level up if I want to here by doing this, or I can just click on here and then come down to the breadcrumbs if you like, down here, down the bottom here, and I can just click on one up from here, and that will still do the same thing. So pretty much the same thing. That there is pretty much does the same thing as what this does here by selecting one of those. Now, the reason why we've selected all that is because we want to change the details in there. Now you can see there's no configuration. There's no way to change all this. All right, so let me just go here. And now we're on the nav menu. So if I went on here and then I went one up, we're on the nav menu. If I went on draggable, you're actually on the whole thing where you can drop, drag and drop. That's what this crossbar or this crossbar is for dragging and dropping. But if I went one down before that to here, then I've got a configuration settings, sort of a config gear thing there, icon, which I want to go into, and I want to get rid of all these pages that were created, right? Or these text, I should say, not the pages, but the text. You can see here, this was the original text for the menu. So these are all just, they were made manually without any pages. So we want to get rid of all those. All right, so I'm just going to go minus, 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 and then there, click on that, and that should all disappear. All right, so now we just got about our cafe, menu, reservations, and contact, and then we've got the button over here. But see, these are all pages. So if I come over here, they're all pages. All right. All right, so now the next thing that I'm going to do is I actually want to make that a global block. Now, you've probably heard the term sort of flung around, and maybe some tutorials that you've actually watched, or people have mentioned global blocks. To actually create a global block, you first need to make it a favorite. You need to save the block as a favorite. So you come up here, make sure that you've got the whole block, not just part of the block, but the whole block. So if you're not sure, come down here, go to block, and then you've selected the whole block. We want to make that a favorite and save it. So we're going to create new block. Now I'm going to categorize this. Now what that means is basically I'm going to put it into the, what I normally do is I actually add the name of the website, and then that will be the category. So the name of the website's not even in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create it. I'm going to create a new category. I'm going to add the name, and I'm just going to put cafe there, and then I'm going to create block. So any other blocks that I actually save from here on in, I'm going to actually save them for this particular website. I'm going to save them to cafe. So now if I go into here, into blocks, and we go to saved, right? We've got saved blocks. Then I'm going to go down to cafe, wherever that is. There it is. And then you can see that I've saved the block. Okay. Let's just go out of there for now. So we've saved it as a block. We want to make it a global block though. We don't want to just have it as a saved block. We want it as a global block. Now, what global block actually means is that when you've got a global block, that means that if you change the navigation, let's just say in this case, the global block is the navigation block. If we change anything on the navigation block, whether it be the logo or even, you know, whether it be things that we've added more pages or whatever, that will affect all the other navigation bars or navigation blocks on all the other pages. And I'll show you what I mean. So at the moment, we actually have a saved block, but we want it to be a global block so that when we make changes, we don't have to make changes to every single navigation bar on every single page. So let's just do that now. Let's turn it into a global block. We're going to come up to pages, and then we're going to go to global blocks there, and then we're going to add one. So we're going to add a global block. Now, we just want a blank template. That's all we want. Once we've done that, come over here. Let's name this one. We're going to rename this to cafe menu, nav bar. Let's call it nav bar. And then I'm going to just click on tick. Cool. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going to click on here, the plus sign, and we're going to add a block. Now, the block we're going to add is the one that we saved. Right? That's this one. We come up to here, go to saved, we go to cafe, and then we find the block, we add it, and now we have a global block. So when we save and exit, what you will see now is when we go to select the nav bar, once this comes up, then you will see it now. It's just actually not on this one here, but when we click on here on the add block, we click on there, we go to global blocks, we grab the one that we just created, we add it to the top because this one was the one that we had prior to actually creating a global block. Now what happens is that when you actually do this, it will select the one that you need to delete. So this is the bottom one. We need to delete that one. And then we come up here. Now you can see it says edit global block. So any changes now that I make to that navigation menu or the nav bar, that will reflect on every single global block navigation bar in the website. All right. We're going to go right down to the bottom, and we're going to do the same for the footer. Okay, the footer is going to be the same. So we're going to what we're going to do is we're going to go to pages. Oh, sorry, hang on. Let's go here first. We're going to save this as a favorite. We'll save it. All right, and take that off. So we're going to save that. We're going to go down to cafe. We're going to save it in there. Okay. Now we go up to the pages. Now we're going to create a global block. So we've got the cafe nav bar. Now we're going to do another one, blank page or template. And let's call this one the cafe footer. And we could put a slug in there if you wanted to, so I'll just put in a slug. It doesn't really matter. Just keeps everything sort of like keeps everything sort of uniform. Okay, and just click on here. All right, and finish that. Now we're going to add the saved block. Go to saved, go to cafe, and there we have the footer. Let's put that in there. All right, and let me just check to make sure. Why didn't that actually stick? Cafe footer. Maybe I didn't put a dash in between. Okay, let's save that. Cool. Okay, that's saved now. And let's just save and exit. And again, the one that we had there originally will not be a global block, so we need to get rid of that. And then we need to add the other one that is a global block, the one that we just finished. So let's go down to footer, come to here. You can see this is the original. I'm going to add the global block version of that. Go to global blocks, come to cafe footer, and you can see that it's selected. It's still on the one that we actually originally had. So let's delete that. And now we have the global block here. Now, the great thing about this is that if things change, like your privacy policy page might change, your cookies policy page might change, whatever, that, you know, the changes will be rolled out for all the different blocks, global blocks on every page. So that's the great thing about it. You don't have to actually change it on each and every single page, which is, you know, can be quite cumbersome. All right, so we've got 2 global blocks. We've gone through that. Now here, I'm going to come down to this part here. We're going to skip down to the hero image here. This is actually a slider. All right, so if I click on there, we go to the next page. So that will automatically slide. Now, I will probably cover sliders in a different type of session when we focus on those sorts of things and sliders and all that. But in this case, I'm not going to cover it. But what I'm going to show you on here is one of the things is that what I found here is that the white text is kind of blending in with the white parts of the food here, and I don't want that. I want it to kind of stick out a little bit more bolder, if you like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on here. I'm going to click on the image. Let me just make sure we got the image there. There's the image. All right, I'm going to click on the image, and then I'm going to put color. And then I'm going to put I'm going to make it black. Now, that may not actually, let me just have a look. I don't think that's going to happen. All right. Now that image, because that image is actually on a slider, it's not going to work for that. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do an overlay over the top of the image. So instead of actually doing a slider, let me just click on here, on the block here. Go to block there. And then I'm going to add another block. I'm just going to add an image. All right. So I'm going to go empty block. I'm going to select that. All right. What else? What I want to do here is I actually want to copy this. So I'm just going to select the text here, copy it, right, and I'm going to drag and drop into there. Now, you won't see it because it's white. There, I'm going to copy this as well, and then I'm going to drag and drop into here, into the container here, if I can. Let's see if I can or not. No, it needs up over there. Let me just do this. Let me just put a picture in there for now. So I'm going to click on the block. I'm going to go down to image. I'm going to choose an image. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to free stock photos. And then I'm going to put in here cafe. See what it comes up with. Okay. Load more. Let me just do, there was the one with pikelets. Let me just, or pancakes. I think you guys call them pancakes. We call them pikelets. But let me go pancakes. Here we go. All right. So there was, well, let's grab this one here. Oh, that looks nice too. It's hard to actually do this without actually being a little bit hungry for it. I like that too. We'll do this one here because the whole idea was to get that white bit of the food in there. So I'm going to just do this one here. There, I'm uploading it. So it's actually going to go into my images. But what can happen sometimes, and I'll show you if it does happen. You see how it says there, generate preview, generate, Yeah, it's previewing, or it's trying to generate. That means that you're not going to see an image. So you'd be better off just deleting that, and this does happen, deleting that and then going back again to see if you can get an image that doesn't do that. So let's just try this one here, because these are quite large images. Okay, see, now that one shows up. All right, I'm going to go in here and I'm actually going to downsize the image a bit because they're quite large. You'll see the size come up soon. 5,718 pixels by 3,812. Too large. We actually want it smaller than that. So let's just go down to, we're going to make sure that this lock is on. We're going to go down to, say, 1920. And you can see that it automatically adjusts. Now, if you want to change the height, you take the lock off and you change the height. That means it doesn't affect this. Okay. Okay, let's just crop and select. Yeah. All right. Now you can see we've got a few spacing issues here. I'm just going to drag and drop this above the other one here. Yeah. All right. Let's get this other stuff in here. I'm going to duplicate this as well. Drag and drop it up there. Yeah. And this one here, duplicate. So instead of actually trying to recreate all this manually, like, you know, with it, I'm just going to drag and drop it. Sorry, duplicate it and drag and drop it. Now that went into outside of the box here, so we need to get it in here somewhere. There. And let's just move that up. Where did that go? If you want to go back to the last thing you did, click on there. So that there, I actually want that above the button. I don't know if we got, there we go. All right, so it's kind of similar like that. Now I want to add some spacing because that is just too, you know, not enough spacing. So I'm going to come in here, spacing, make sure I've got the block selected. I'm going to click on the inside of the borderline, if you like, the solid pink line, and then I'm going to add some spacing. So let's put about maybe 150, see what that looks like. Okay, didn't quite get the image in there. Got pretty good spacing up there, but don't actually have the image in there. I'm going to add a little bit more, maybe just make this 180. Okay, and again, we're not seeing the whole plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the background here. I'm going to come down to image, and then I'm going to come over here, the alignment, and I'm going to play with this. Okay, play with the alignment on here. So now I've actually put it down, I've selected that, and let's push that plate up a wee bit. Right, so now that I've got that all nice and aligned, it looks great. I mean, we've got some equal spacing down the bottom and equal spacing up the top of the image. So that's pretty cool. I love that. Now you can still see that that white can actually get lost in that sort of the background of that. And this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you how we could actually make it stick out more. So now that we've got that there, I'm going to come over to here, and let's just go to, let's just close this up. We've got image there. Where are we? Hang on. Okay, so we've got background. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to click on color, and I'm going to go black. Now you can see that it's blacked and white out. All right. So I'm going to use the transparency here, and then take it down down about 50. Yeah, that sticks out a lot more now. Okay, so that whole white font sticks out a lot better than what it did before. So if I actually took the transparency away, a little bit lost in the background, but if I put it into 50, you know, so half of the transparency, even less, we could get away with a little bit more less, say 30, then you've got that there, right? So it stands out. That's the whole point. All right. Now, maybe I'll come back to this at some other point and use the slide on this. So I don't really want to necessarily get rid of it. So I'm just going to hide it. I'm going to hide it. So it doesn't actually show on my website. I'm going to come over to here, I select anywhere on the image here, and then just go to block here, come over to layout, come here, and then go down to none, and that will actually hide it on the website. So if I go to preview, all you're going to see is this image here. So we're a little bit out of alignment here, so I'm not too sure why, but all you're going to see is that. You're not going to see the other one. Right, so something not quite right there. We've got to fix that. Anyway, maybe it probably needs a little bit more spacing in there. So let's just try this again. I'm not going to put any spacing on the bottom. I'm just going to put it on the top, and I'm going to make it 250. And we'll go preview. So you can check your work as you go and just see if you can. Yeah, still not working properly. So maybe if I go back to 180 on that, and then I go back to the alignment again, and let's just see if it makes any difference when I actually do the alignment, put it into the center, see if that makes any difference. Okay, let's go preview again. And there you go, it made some difference. So the bottom, it needs more spacing. All right, and I'll just maybe just do that do that now. There we go. Spacing, bottom, take that one off. Let's see this a bit more. Let's try 342. I'm not going to worry too much if this doesn't work straight away, but I'm going to leave it as it is now. What I do like is when you actually, when you land on it, so this is actually in a desktop view that you're seeing now. Oh, I don't know if you can see, you can't actually see the preview for some reason. Okay, there's the preview. Sorry, guys. There's the preview. Okay. What I do like about this is that what happens is that everything above the fold is actually filling up above the fold quite nicely. Instead of actually having like half of this part of this shown down the bottom, I've pretty much got the whole image shown here, plus the navigation bar. It looks better. And when I say above the fold, if you think of what, in terms of marketing, we're actually, I guess, promoting, like for newspapers, a lot of what when they actually showed the newspaper on the newspaper stands, they show above the fold. So where it was folded, they show the main headline, and that was above the fold. And that's the one that shows to people, that actually makes them buy it, because they see the main headline and they want to buy the paper. That's above the fold scenario. So that sits nicely above the fold. So when they land on my website, that's all they're going to see. And then as they scroll down, they'll see the rest, right? So remember that. That's what you want to try and achieve when you're actually doing a website. Is try and actually get that above the fold look nicely fitted in, so that you don't end up with part of the next part down the bottom of it, and it doesn't look right. It kind of looks ugly. Anyway, so that's the preview. Let's go back to where I was before. Just got a share tab. There we go. Okay. So here we've done that. We've actually done that sort of like that black overlay, transparent black overlay. So in order to make this stick out a lot more, let's go down now here. It may not seem like anything's wrong here, but there's no gap. There's no gap between these images. You might like it like that. It's up to you. But for me, I think to separate them, you probably need a bit of a gap. All right. So I'm going to click on here on the image, and then I'm going to go, I'm going to go one more up and try another one up. Let's try, I think that's it. Yeah. So if we go layout 3, so what that means is that, I think that's like a third, and a third. So if we go on to the configuration settings here, you'll see that it's got gutter width, none. All right, let's change that to large. Or you can go extra large if you want, but I'm going to change it to large and then update. Now we've got that gutter width. All right, actually that's probably a bit too much. Let me just go back to there again. I'm going to go to medium, try that. Okay, so now that we've got that gutter width, it actually helps separate those images and make them all look like individual. Okay, so that's one thing. Cool. Next one is this one here. All right, so we've got an image in there, and pretty much it's just a fixed image. There's nothing much about it. Like it's, you know, we could snazz it up a wee bit, which I'm going to do. But you know, it's just a fixed image that sits in there, and it's pretty much like I guess a feature thing. You could put something in there that's, you know, some sort of in there that is kind of like a feature text, you know, something special or whatever you want to do. But anyway, it's boring. The fact that it just sits there. So if I go to preview, and then I'll change the tab this time. You come down to that image. That's all it is. Not that exciting. So let's go back. Let's make that what's it called? Parallax. So we're going to select the whole block. We're going to go to background, and then we're going to come down to image, and then we're going to go down to parallax. I'm going to select that. So now what happens is, and let me go into preview. All right, now that when we go down to that image, it will scroll. All right. Hopefully you can all see that. Cool. Once again, let me take that off. Let me just, so to do that, what you need to do, go to background, make sure your image is on the background, okay, on the block of the background of the block, not the background of the container. The background of the block. All right. So make sure that when you've actually selected the block and you actually add an image, you're adding an image to the block and not the container, which is one step back from the block, if you know what I mean. All right, and so there we've got that there. So now I want to do is I want to come down to here, and again you can align it. You can have it up there like that, or where it doesn't show anything. Center, come down a wee bit, up to you. But let's just have it there because it's nice and centered, and select parallax. Are you seeing this? I don't know if you can see this. No, you can't. Sorry. Let's do that again. Okay, like I said, you can align it wherever you want. There, or just center it, right? And again, once you've selected that block, come down to parallax and click on parallax. Okay, now we'll have that scrolling movement, that scrolling type sort of a feel. All right, we're just about towards where I want to finish off, but this here is actually a slide, so I've left that. So that's a slider that will just slide automatically. So if I actually click on here on the settings, make sure that I'm on the slider settings, and then it's got some options here. I'm gonna so the slide animation, I'm gonna have it slide in from the right. So I'm gonna go. Where's the slide in right? Yeah, I think it's this one. Slide in right. I'm going to have the animation duration and well, probably just happen a little bit slower. So let's just say 2 seconds. I'm going to have it on autoplay. Auto height is really just for if your images are actually just all different heights. In this case, my images are the same height, so I don't need to actually do anything there. I don't want them. I don't need it to pause over hover, but I will want it to loop. So when it's done one round, I want it to do another round. Okay, now I'm just going to update that. Let's just have a preview and see what that looks like. Whether or not it'll show it or not, I'm not too sure, because a lot of things are not functional when you actually go into a preview mode. but let's just have a look. So that's the slide. Oh, there you go. All right. There you go. So that's how that works. Okay. All right, let's go back here. I'm going to get with some of these previews. There. Okay, I've lost, you guys have lost my shared screen. Okay, yeah. Add. Okay. All right, so that was the slide. And all right, so now we've got all these images here. But one of them is this kind of an oblong image, unlike all these rounded ones. You may know how to fix this, or you may not, but I'm going to go through it anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this one here, and I'm going to delete it. All right, I'm just going to delete it. Now I should have the container left, the empty container. I'm going to go to elements here, and then I'm going to go down to image here, but I'm going to go into the round image. I'm going to drag and drop that into here. All right. So now we need to fill that image up. So I'm going to come into here. I'm going to choose the image. That's the one I was using. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to actually bring the size down, reduce the size here. All right. I don't really. That's just too high a size for the image. So what I'm going to do is and maybe I'll just square that off. Possibly. Let's just go there. Kind of just like flopping it, I guess. And I'm just going to change the size to, let's just call it maybe 200. 200 by 180. And then crop. And then update. So now that we've got that. All right, so it all looks uniform. All right. Let's just have I missed anything out? There's things like forms and stuff like that, but there would be another session that we'll probably cover, because forms are actually quite a it's quite a bit involved in that. Adding a form in here. You can see that I've got some images that are actually that have actually been hidden, and they're exactly the same image, but that the reason for that is just to actually make them responsive to different devices. So you can see it hidden here, but if I go to the mobile view, where is it? Try and find it now. All right, if I go to the mobile view, then you can probably see them here. So they're pretty much the same. The other images that you saw that weren't hidden are these ones here. That was on the PC view. Those were these ones. But if you come onto the mobile, these were the ones that were hidden. Only because I wanted to make them a little bit more shorter, if you like. You can see there, this is too long. So I've actually reduced the size in terms of like I've cropped it. So if you go to have a look at it, and let's go to here, preview, you're going to see the images that the first lot of images on the PC view. But if I right click and go into inspect, then on the mobile view, you will see the shorter images. They are shorter than the other ones, by the way. All right. There's a bit of a spaciness here that probably needs some spacing in there, which you can actually change. But oh geez, again, I've done it again. Here we go. Here is the mobile view. There's a bit of a spacing issue here in between the images, so you can actually change that by heading over to the mobile view here, and then just clicking on each image that is not hidden. Right, clicking on each image right there, And let's go container. So we'll go one up, container. So the image is in the container, and then I'm just going to go spacing, and I'm just going to add 20. Right. I'm going to do the same for this one here. Yeah. I'm going to add spacing underneath, 20. And I don't think we need to, oh yeah, we don't need to worry about this one here. So when I do actually go into the preview, and this, make sure I do the tab here. Right click, do the inspect, and I go down to those images. Now we've got some spacing, and it looks better. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me stop share. Okay, that was today's session, guys. So it was kind of just a bit of a walkthrough GroovēPages. Probably there may have been some things in there that you didn't know, and hopefully you've been able to get some sort of like pick up some tips from what I've done or shown you. So that was actually just a cafe page, a demo page that I'm working on. Probably in the sessions to come over the coming weeks, I'll be using the same demo page, and we'll be slowly going through all the different modifications, changes, you know, and also actually, you know, modifying the pages, the different pages like the menu page, the contact page, and the, oh, there was another one too as well, booking page. So all those sorts of things. So we'll use the same website, and we'll just work through all those different things that we can do on it. Now the other thing is that that what is attached that we will probably look at some other stage is that we will attach an e-commerce component to it, so that maybe people can actually purchase online and pick up their you know, their food, if you like, or their coffees. So that will be in later stages. But you know, for now, that's it. We've finished this session today. So yeah, it was good to have you here, and thank you very much. Bye, brother. Oh, okay, you're from New Zealand, mate. So good to have you here. Great to have you guys here, and thank you for joining me, and we will see you next week. Bye for now.
You gotta get into the groove. You gotta get into the groove.